It is time to siege. Come on, cycle. No results so far. What do we say? Are we in the wrong place? Do we need to get up on top of the thing some other way? Oh, we no longer have the ability to approach it. Arthur will help us from this point. Can we do it here? There it is. Boop. Yes. Ooh. And the ominous you can only go forward thing. All right, let's do it. Ooh. I feel that this will be a unique experience. Please keep your hands and arms inside the car at all times. We are ascending to a cruising altitude of 3 to 4 stories. Bye, siege cycle.
Hope we didn't forget anything.
Yeah, thanks, Arthur. This feels quite a lot like going to Delta Base in the first game. Okay. So we're not going to smash any windows here, I guess. We inexplicably can't go this way again. So is that over there where we started out? I think that's the balcony from which we were peering. And we saw a dude in here. Presumably we don't want to make contact, I would think. Oh, look. A door. Oh, is that where the balcony key comes in handy? Maybe we would have needed it. And a brick or a piece of wood that appeared right in front of us. Hello, Moon. You pop up everywhere these days. And there's like a scaffold there or something. Guess we'd better try to open it.
It's locked. Talk about paranoid. Just look what we had to go through just to get up here.
That is a good point. Let's try to key this door. Finally. Ah, we just missed them.
Hey, what was that flash of light?
I think you're one step behind here, Arthur. But I guess you've never seen it. Well, you have seen one of these suits appear. You reviewed all of our logs and stuff. And there was video.
He's not in here. That flash of light must have been him jumping out when he saw you on the balcony. You must have startled him.
Now you got it.
Leonardo's private study. I'd imagine very few people have even seen this.
With its own elevator. I guess that takes us down to the other locked door. Okay, and there's evidence that should be seeable from the place at which we currently stand, someplace.
Da Vinci's drum machine. Who would have thought that Leonardo would have been the spiritual ancestor of the Pet Shop Boys? Actually, though, Da Vinci was also an accomplished musician and composer, and designed several musical instruments, such as the viola organista.
I've never heard of that instrument. Oh, I think we just found it. Something right here? A scuff mark? An egg? A cork? What is this? Something we can take. That's a first. A lens filter. Let's have a quick look at that, shall we? Electronic device inconsistent with technology level of this time period. Okay. This is a light filter that fits over the lens of any standard camera. What does it say on it? Biopiths? It's, I mean, yay, not all grammar has to be perfect. Exact function is unknown. To use the lens filter, click on its picture in the inventory controls area. To use it? Yeah, okay. Isn't that true of anything? Oh, lens filter secure to jumpsuit camera lens? Is that good or bad? Interesting. I'm glad I read the instructions. Removed. Secured. Hobla hey. Alright. Let's finish exploring this place.
Cool, but where are the action figures to go with them? Probably back at your place, huh, Gage? Sorry. Now, those aren't toys, so be careful.
Something you could take? That would be 10 dramoy. Ah, yes. Another cherished quote, but no spoilers. Something else to examine here? What have we here?
Gage, look at these sketches. Da Vinci originally began studying anatomy as a foundation for his art, but his insatiable thirst for knowledge eventually drew him to the study of the human body in a lot more depth. In one of his writings, he talks of 120 books of anatomy that he had written. None of them were ever found, but what notes and sketches have survived show that he did an in-depth study of human physiology. No one else had mapped the human body as comprehensively, partly due to the interdiction from the church.
Maybe he was just bragging, you know, I wrote 120 books, knowing that a historical collection like that would be difficult to assemble in future. What is this then? Something. Oh, finally, a preserved heart. That's just what we need. And wacky eyeballs that move.
It's no wonder Leonardo was being so secretive. Human dissection was strictly forbidden by the church and might have gotten him arrested if anyone were to find out about it. Certainly the scandal wouldn't have put him in the Duke's favor. The elevator seems like it would have been a good idea for getting the cadavers up here on the quiet, though.
Hello Celtic, says, I often wonder how far we would be technologically speaking if it wasn't for things like the church. I think I grasp your sentiment, Celtic. Yeah, I don't think that's such an impediment these days. Not such an impediment, though it still is a force. But yeah, if you extrapolate that back through human history, you might have seen some notable differences, I'm sure. This is a human heart preserved in a jar of liquid. Leonardo was apparently using it for his anatomical studies, right? So do I have the jar? It doesn't look like I have the jar. Maybe the game didn't think the jar was important. Let's do this one more time. And that looks kind of like a ghost. I suppose it could be a very slightly developed human, but that would have been hard to come by. Okay, can we enter the elevator and go down there too? It looks like we can. Maybe Gage wants to use it for Valentine's Day. Yes, that could be his motivation for having taken that heart. That's possible. And more evidence? What the hey? Okay.
Gage, these are Da Vinci's notebooks. Or 3 of them anyway.
Looks like we can zoom in here. Let's look at the notebooks first. Maybe the evidence will be automatically recorded. Are we gonna have some reading? Source of ripple documented. Mission complete. You may now leave the time zone at your discretion. Interesting. What are we seeing here? We've got some equations. Why do we have equations? Are we seeing what's something that our suit is extrapolating, or are we seeing what's actually like emblazoned on the page? I don't think Da Vinci was dealing with electron beams. This would seem to be the anachronism. I think that's equations for time travel. Yeah, it could be. And there we've got some geometry that would have probably been within Da Vinci's grasp. Looks like we're doing a little matrix multiplication. Transferring geometric coordinates to colors of light. And what have we here? Some more geometry. That looks like it has to do with calculus. Getting the area under a curve. Plenty of like algebraic equations here as well. What else have we got? Just a whole list of stuff. And we got some 3D spatial projections. This looks like it has to do more with designing a 3D game than time travel. Okay, and there's more. That one looks like a repeat of what we've seen before. Not sure exactly what this one is. Yeah, I think I remember. Do I remember you saying that before, Celtic? I don't blame the sentiment for persisting in you. Oops, hang on, missed a little bit. And this looks like calibration for a computer monitor, you know, like standard color ranges versus P3 color or something. Reflecting / transmitting. They wrote the story, but game never made. Yeah. That one doesn't look as familiar to me. So I think what we're just seeing here is this looks like a diagram for an audio synthesizer. And again, more XYZ to RGB stuff here. Start, flowchart, and then end. This stuff is scrolled all over DaVinci's notes. I haven't been paying attention to the notes in the background. That looks like a winged thing. Is that the end of the book? And there's no icon to click out of the book here. There it is. All right. And then just more notes from Da Vinci himself, I assume. Maybe that's the buzzsaw. And that one looked like it was maybe something to do with the siege cycle or something like it. That looks like it had more to do with maybe the elevator or something else. Something you can pedal. You can pedal to bow. Is this like a human-powered catapult kind of thing? Were you able to do the one time zone? Are you talking about the bug that we hit, Celtic? If so, that's actually what we're doing today. We're slowly replaying through the game and checking at every point to make sure that the bug was not caused to kick into effect. So shortly, just after we leave this time zone, we'll go check, and hopefully the catapult will still fire. Meanwhile, we've made some progress. Is this one of the devices we saw down there on the grounds? And there's a way to scale the wall, and that's the thing that made the ladder fall off the wall. And Tom has shown up to say hi as well. We've got Tom here. Hello, Tom. And there's the end of that book. Well, that was cool. Love the attention to detail and honoring of reality that I'm aware that the team has done with this game. It's very impressive and an example. Man, we don't need to read any of this stuff, but it's all here. That's just great. You can zoom in. Nothing to take here. And up here we had some dangling geometric figures. So we can leave, but we want to use the elevator, right? I don't see that there's a locking mechanism for the elevator here. I wonder how much info could be gotten back if we ever do get time travel. Their treatment of how time travel works is pretty, again, quite laudable. So hopefully we haven't missed anything in this area. You know, we could have missed the heart. I'm guessing the heart could very well be a sacrifice for the Aztec trial. All right, we can't go down here? Oh, maybe we can. Okay, let's give it a shot. No, apparently it is locked.
I think it's jammed. Whoever was up here before us wasn't particularly careful.
Oh, so we just can't use it. That's our excuse. Okay, so let's do another save. And this will be Steve B5. Oops, B5. And I'd love to go to the Aztec place, but we gotta make our periodic bug combating stop at Gaillard. And we will see our dear friend, the Arrowed, take yet another arrow. Poor guy. It's quite the unlucky death. Well said, Lexi. All right, let's listen carefully. Yep, we're in business. All right. So, let's go on to... Should we go to do Farnstein next? Maybe we should do Farnstein. Get that evidence. We still don't know what triggers the bug, but we do know that it apparently isn't anything that we've done since beginning the stream again today. During this session. No, we can't do Farnstein. We need another cheese girl. So we gotta go back and get that. Sorry. Early Terrarian? Is that a joke, or is that like a piece of buried in time jargon? Celtic says, when we first get time travel, probably be more like how it is in shows and movies, where they make time police to police the timeline so people don't change the timeline. That's kind of what we're seeing in this game, isn't it, too? I don't know if they... Well, maybe. The Temporal Protectorate, right? Yeah, that's well within their scope. Gage is a time police. Is that the right code? Yes. Such a great hint about the solution to the Farnstein lab. It's pretty good. I imagine stuff will get messed up heckin' fast if we have time travel. Well, if time ripples and so on prove to be what they seem. Alright, I'm gonna have to focus for this race again. Took us like half a session to accomplish this last time.
Passageway has been destroyed, so the only way we're going to get to the biomass processing room is through the asteroid. We're going to have to hurry, though, because it's all in vacuum and your oxygen reserve isn't going to get you very far.
What am I going to do next?
We'll have to take the
flashlight under my face?
Did we just hear simultaneous Arthurs? And they didn't even include the one that's already here waiting for us?
That always seemed to work in Scooby-Doo.
That's me? That's not me. So, I guess I haven't gotten rid of you after all. You just pop up in different spots, like whatever pops up in different spots. So, corrupting my work not enough? Back to finish the job? What?
Gage, be honest with me. Does my voice really sound that dorky?
And I thought I was being rescued. I'm breathing my last breaths here, and I get visited by Guido, the space family. Come all this way to tamper with my sculptures. What are you, an art critic?
I wonder why we hear that.
So, what do? Travel around space looking for derelict crafts so you can terrorize the survivors by redecorating while they're helpless? What'd you do? Bring a spray can too?
Celtic, I'm not sure if that is true about hearing both Arthurs like that before we reach the docking bay, because that's never happened at any other point.
Pressure variance too great. Door may not be opened until pressure is equalized.
The airlock on the other side must still be pressurized. That's why this door won't open. I can put out an audio override code to bypass the safety interlocks, but the rest will be up to you. Here goes.
Emergency door release initiated. Please stand by.
It's us against time. Once again. Why doesn't it say engaged, no pun intended?
The other guy who was in here went around and interacted with all the sculptures like he was looking for the right one. Funny, he really seemed to know what he was doing. The one he eventually settled on is at Programming Station C.
You can call this the maternity ward. This is where I was born. The huge womb in the center is where the neurosynaptic polymer gel that makes up my brain mass is growing. Ringing it are the programming stations. Kinda homey, isn't it?
Pardon me. Station number 3 on the left. So we did explore this whole thing before.
These stations are where the neurosynaptic polymer gel is programmed. Sort of where my DNA is coded, I suppose. Each new function is mapped independently into a glob of gel like this by stimulating synaptic pathways with the resonance probes. Each programmed mass is then introduced to the parent nexus where it's assimilated and becomes part of the wetware. A little like an RNA injection.
Wetware, that's a term we've heard him use more than once. I assume that's a continuation of the pattern that terms like hardware and software initiated.
Dr. Farnstein had set up a studio in the research lab where I could interface with a painting board. It was kind of important to me. Things that I couldn't figure out, I just put to canvas. After the accident, I had a lot of things I wanted to work out, and the studio was just gone. I guess one day I sort of hit on the idea of using all of this raw material here. It gave me a lot of flexibility. It's a medium I'm familiar with. My own gray matter. Or green matter, I suppose. I guess I like the irony, too. The artist cannibalizing himself for his art.
Alrighty, so as we know, we have to introduce a different frequency resonance, harmonic resonance pattern. Is that what they're called? And which one was it? Was it the 11 kilohertz? Positive response. Yep.
The harmonic resonance control is used to introduce specific three-dimensional resonance waves into the biomass. Where the waves converge, the gel is stimulated into opening new patterns of pathways. Without inserting the probes, I suppose the sculpture would just be flooded by the resonance field. There's a chance that it might trigger an embedded response.
A moment ago, Lexi said, what if humans already discovered time travel and were only here because some human went back in time and messed things up and this is the closest they could get it back to the original timeline? Well, in that case, Agent 5, I'm going to have to activate robots 1 and 2 and hold you until I can figure out what to do with you. Because that's how responsible I am now. And I can't give up on the reality that we have and such. That's the complete answer to that question. And Celtic says, wetware computer technology in which the brain is linked to artificial systems or used as a model for artificial systems based on biochemical processes. Did you type that? Or did you copy and paste that? It's missing an auxiliary verb, but otherwise it doesn't strike me as it's grammatically complete and conventionally accurate. And where'd you find that?
Well, this is the one. If you touch it, you can see what it's supposed to do. Whatever he did to it only shows up in reaction to a specific harmonic resonance. Why go to all this trouble?
Boop.
Okay, well, I guess that does it. You know, for so long I dreamed of getting out of here. But now that I've gotten my wish, it's kind of strange to think that I'll never be able to come back. I'm gonna miss this place.
Hold me, Gage.
Well, I'm glad you at least have some humor about it. Okay, let's do... I'm just dying to go to Chichen Itza again, but let's jump to Gaiad one more time.
Hello, friend. I'm sorry that this is the end of your life. Enjoy whatever comes after.
Yep, we're still good. Okay. Time to hit the pyramids. We went to Chichen Itza pretty early in the first game. I don't know. Now, Arthur has comments, like, all over this place.
That huge pyramid is the Castillo. It's dedicated to Kukulkan, who was the Mayan equivalent of the Aztec serpent god Quetzalcoatl. The structure behind it is the Temple of the Warriors.
So, all I'm really interested in here in reviewing these inscriptions is to see whether we can find another hint about Tlaloc. Because there's a mission downstairs. Yes. So these seem to be like a briefing for what happens beneath the pyramid. But we don't know what Tlaloc is, but one of the hints involves Tlaloc. Council with the gods to pay homage. Yep. Oh, and there's nothing here. Okay, so I guess we don't get anything about Tlaloc at all. Four Lords of the Night, those are the four trials downstairs. Before the layman is allowed to touch the holy vessel of ordainment. Vessel of ordainment, so that would be a chalice or a cup of some kind. The Chakmul grants entrance to the underworld only on sacred days, and that dude outside is the Chakmul. Blah, blah, blah. One flint. Actually, that's way easier to remember than the other ones. Let's go with one flint, shall we? Hopefully he won't think that we're, like, lazy for going with one flint. No. There you are. We take our good old ceramic bowl. As far as we know, we can't sacrifice anything else to it, such as an arrow or whatever. It has to be the bowl. Whee! Ah, it's good to be back. This is a comforting place. There's the skull. It's off to the... No, that's not the skull. That's our copper medallion. I thought there was a skull here. Maybe it's only the second skeleton that has a skull. Or is it... There it is. It's the skeleton that we land on. Maybe this guy... Maybe that guy just died on his way down. Celtic says you get another scene if you use the wrong date? Are you talking about the date that I specified using the 2 wheels at the top of the pyramid? Oh, so if I don't use a sacred day, then something else happens? I didn't even consider that. Never tried it. Is it a bad scene? Ooh, okay, we'll have to try that for fun at some point. So we could sacrifice the bloody arrow and get the second skull, then we could just wander around with 2 skulls. But that is as much as... Oh, and there's more evidence to be recorded here too, isn't there? So we'll try and do that. I think we can safely go in here. Gotta remember my keyboard shortcuts. I'm already using the translation. Come on now. Can we not get any closer? There it is. God of Wealth, that's right. I don't know whether lower their heads in humility means that we have to look down or anything like that. Here's our evidence. Let's get our evidence. Now, is this our 6th piece of evidence? No, we're not quite there, are we? Or is there more than 1 page of evidence? No, it is our 6th piece. Replicated glass fragments, inconsistent with technology level of the time period. And I know there is at least 1 more piece of evidence that we have not logged here, and 4 of these are from the Da Vinci studio. Interesting. Okay, so what is the inscription here? Final trial is the first sacrifice. Still not exactly sure what that means. It's quite cryptic. What we want is the one that talks about facing your demons or whatever. Might be this one. Are the mouths different shapes? I think they might be. Demons, yep. And we can comfortably sacrifice an arrow. Doop-de-doo. So we're not going to use the skulls, we're just going to take the other skull. Because who knows whether we'll need it. You just never know. And then we'll save. Oh, you know what we haven't found yet? The rope that I mentioned. Good old rope. Where was it? Why haven't we found it again? Celtic, assuming the 4th story has Gage as the hero again, they could rework it to have Arthur as the hero, assuming the guy who played Gage can't come back. That's true, and also no spoilers. And then there's this guy over here. Alright, let's jump to... Okay, I guess it's time to jump to Gaillard. We don't have the rope, and I'm a little sad about that. It must be... I feel like it must be in the Da Vinci studio. Was there something that used a rope that we took the rope from after it was used or anything like that? Oh well. Let's get Gaillarding. If the bug was just a one-time thing, then I'm very glad, obviously. But even if that's as much as we'll ever be bothered by it, I would love to know why. Our favorite place with our best friend who really wants an arrow piercing, and we're always here to support him. The rope wasn't like right here, was it? Somewhere around here? I don't think it was at Gaillard.
Those boulders were dropped on any Nimrod trying to climb the walls.
Yeah, well, where was the rope then? Did we yank it off a device?
It's kind of interesting how they use the more finished stone on the outside of the walls to make the castle look more imposing, and use the rough stone on the inside. The space in between was generally filled with rubble and, oh, I don't know, annoying singing frogs and metal boxes. This castle really was the jewel of King Richard's crown. He once wrote about Chateau Gaillard. How beautiful is my year-old daughter. When Philip Augustus had said that he would take this castle though its walls were made of iron, King Richard retorted that he would hold it if its walls were made of butter. Then King John the Soft Sword took over. When Philip was done with this place, you could pour it on your popcorn. These wooden hoardings here, they were put up for defense before a siege to protect archers, and get this, allow the soldiers to drop big, heavy, painful things on the attackers below. Charming, isn't it?
I thought you just mentioned that.
When Philip Augustus heard about Richard's death in 1199, he set about retaking Normandy. And within 3 years, in October of 1203, he was knocking on Chateau Gaillard's door with a formidable army. John answered the door with 300 knights, 3,000 horsemen, and 4,000 foot soldiers and assorted ruffians, who tried to surprise Philip's army with a night attack. Big mistake. He wasn't counting on the new cohesion and confidence of Philip's army in the light of Richard's death. They were slaughtered. Ah, the classic garderobe. Simplicity at its finest.
Now, is this where we get to hear his Monty Python reference that sounds like it was recorded, like, from home?
You tiny-brained wipers of other people's bottoms, I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled of elderberry.
Sorry, I always wanted to say that.
Yep. Doop-de-doop-de-doop. All right. What do we think? Time for some smelting? Let's see if we can copper the place up. And again, we still have the old key. Good old guard. Chateau Gaillard, more like Chateau Guy Guard.
This is an old wood-burning forge, which blacksmiths at the time used to heat up and soften raw iron, which they would then hammer to create rod or forged tools and weapons. This fire can only get up to about 1,300 degrees Celsius. Stop me if I'm getting too technical. So they would be limited to casting softer metals such as bronze, copper, or gold.
Did you say the thing I was thinking?
Popping the bellows does air through the coals, stoking the fire. Try it, you weakling.
Is there actually a bellows here? Oh, there is. Wait a sec. Yeah, there's the bellows. But I don't think we're getting over there. I don't know if he was serious. Look, a shield. All right, let's see if we can put some bronze in there. Bronze is your friend. Where's our bronze medallion? Copper medallion. No wonder. Oh, it works. It didn't invert itself, but it works. Now what? We open this, and then we click here to put it in.
Well, it's obviously a mold for a key. But why would he have hidden it under a brick?
Now pull that handle above you. Right, good point. Gotta stoke the fire. Yes, now we can touch it. We can touch it. Great. Look at that bronze. I mean copper. Copper doesn't lend itself to the word marshmallow as much as bronze does. Can we handle this with our bare hands? Yeah, there we go. In ya go. We're a medieval craftsman. Now, do we put the brick back on or do we take the key out? I guess we take the key out. Copper key. Excellent. All right, we've done it. Do we need to douse it in the water? Would you like a preserved heart, sir? I find it funny how quick the metal hardens. Exactly, we're a time traveler. We can wait many minutes and it just seems like seconds.
Buildings in this time were built of a half-timber framework with gaps filled with wattle and daub.
Sorry to interrupt you again there, Arthur. But that guy needs to make his rounds. Wait, isn't there a way to hear what he said again?
Buildings in this
Yes.
time were built of a half-timber framework with gaps filled with wattle and daub. God, I hate English food. Anyway, basically a mat of woven reeds covered with mud and clay.
We sneak back in there. Rounds and rounds he goes. Yes, thank you, Doug. All right, we knew there was evidence here before, but we hadn't a clue about how to use the chip properly. But right there is where it is. And if we look, we can see that it is indeed another boot print. One of the agents. And that's another number we'll need to check the personnel files to match up. Now,
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair.
beautiful, Arthur. Look, there's a window up there with a light in it. We know that we can cross the water. Let's see if Arthur can comment on that. This is all new Arthur commentary from me, by the way.
That's either a very dirty moat or a very clean sewer.
A very dirty moat or a very clean sewer. Well said. I think we have much more efficient ways today of polluting water. Yes, well, we do have something called a grappling hook. And as it turns out, we can grapple.
Hello, Joseph! Shaka, fool! 'Tis all for naught! It shall not claim this tour!
Let's see how you grapple this. Once again, I think we can only go up. Yep, there it is. So this is a sequence where they chuck boulders at you and we automatically dodge. And it doesn't even have any cool Geno music. We don't take a hit, we don't need a certain amount of energy, nothing like that.
Quick! He's in the king's chamber!
He said in a really fake sounding kind of quasi-medieval British accent. And it was clear to me at this point that we needed to activate the cloak. Finally, a use for the cloak. Geno is underutilized.
Alas! He escaped us! He must not wretched the goddess!
So they are speaking what sounds like not totally modern English, but they're still kind of cheesy in the way that they do it. Anyway, I think now we're safe for the moment. And I have explored a little further than this, just to see, whether we'd hit the end of this age or this area. Oh, we can actually head back out. I don't know if we want to be doing that. And there is a fair amount to explore here, and I don't think I've solved all of it by any means, so I'll kind of show you around, and then let's use our smarts together to see what else we can do. We can peek out this window, but we can't jump outside or anything like that. I don't remember there not being music here, though. I kind of like that. There is a chest here. It is a locked chest, and the dudes said that we're in the king's chambers, so this seems like it might be a precious chest. Let's get Arthur here, too.
Hey, nice chest.
Yeah. But we couldn't use the balcony key. We do have a new copper key, but that doesn't appear to be doing it.
Tapestries were used a lot as wall coverings to warm up rooms. The illustrations usually depicted historical moments such as great battles or biblical scenes.
Yeah. I thought I saw the cursor jump there. Nice fire. Nothing here we can take. It'd be interesting to see what the people would think of explosives.
Well, that is actually a pretty nice depiction of a castle under siege.
Oh, yeah.
Guess another good example of life imitating art, wouldn't you say? Except for the 20-foot knights, of course.
You gotta tell him. You gotta tell him. Soylent Gruel is made out of people.
Okay, so there's an exit here. There's a cabinet here.
What lovely candelabras. I wish my brother George was here.
That's the only time I've heard Arthur attempt that voice. Hey, we've got Melly and friends. We've got you. We are honored by your presence. Thank you for hanging in there for just a moment, and thank you, Melly. Good to see you again tonight. You've circled back around. You've lived up to your namesake. You are no longer rude in any sense. Thank you, Toxic, for making it official. In case you haven't noticed, we are exploring the King's Chambers. More on what that means if you'd care to stay with us. Feel free to say hello to the neighbors. They're nice people who don't bite, as far as I know. Okay, so we'll look more closely at this in a moment. We have we can't look at the bed. So here's what I found out about this. This is a cupboard. Melly says, yes, yeah, haha. Crying and laughing emoji. I can see that. I'm well enough acquainted with your countenance, Melly, that I can imagine that. Data Dude, what's this? Hello. Are you referring to the game? We are playing the Journeyman Project 2 Buried in Time. A relaxed, immersive adventure with a bug that we may have overcame. Almost killed this whole playthrough. But we've been foraging. There we go. Melly takes the local wisdom. There's magic in the air, says Tom. Okay, so if we press on this, Lexi, you won't bite. Don't lie about whether you might bite. Unless you're going to use the excuse that because you won't bite, that's still consistent with that you might. So watch this. I'm going to press this door. What do we get? A panel that slides open and reveals the same key. All I can think is we should use the key on the key. But nope, apparently not. And if we click on the panel again, it closes. We can do it again. See this icon? It means move back, right? You can't interact with it. Can't examine it. Arthur has no comments on it. Doesn't appear to count as evidence, so no. Everyone thinks they know if I bite or not. It is a cool game, Data Dude. It's clunky, but it's from an early and I would say great series, and the writing and attention to detail and historical accuracy so far is not to be sneezed at. There you go. Now it's official. Actually, maybe that's the unofficial part of it, and Toxic Tree is the one who made it official. Yes, Melly. You can call triumph over such things. I don't suppose I can guess what you were playing. The last I saw it was a later installment of Mass Effect. So we can't close the door. We probably would be well advised to try that if this were a miss game. I guess we'll go on for now. So let's just remember that weird panel with the key that doesn't look like it came from this time period in the cupboard. And remember, there's a locked chest here. Who knows? I think at this point we're going to hit another save as well. We are going to go at least a little bit further tonight, just to let you know. This is a longer session for us, but I'm feeling resonant. Toxic says, Mel was saving the galaxy and looking surprised to be doing it. Data Dude says, there's something charming about these old games. Absolutely, that's why I play mostly this kind of game. Yep, for the moment. In case anybody is feeling particularly drawn to this kind of game, I'm going to take a moment to mention our friend Dagger Steve, who will give you as much of this as you could want. Very congenial fellow, and just getting started on Twitch, and just has a few followers, and would certainly welcome some more. So, just giving him a nod as we go on here. Shep is going through a no eyebrow phase. Is that an artifact of the graphics quality or rendering, or is that your own meddling with the character, Melly? I understand Shep to be fairly customizable. Melly, how gracious of you. Whoa, did you see that? Yes, I think I remember this happening. So watch the animation. Lexi, BRB cats. All right, I guess you can't watch the animation. Oh well. For some reason, the video is sort of, the frames fade into each other, starting around here. So we can go, we can look down, or we can go up. I think last time I decided to go down, so this time let's start by going up. Melly says it was mine. She's based off the crazy bush lady character I made from Dragon Age. I see. I am not a cat. So it looks like we might have a door that goes into the ceiling. Can we come up through the top of the tower? We never know what moves in this area might be dangerous. Let's try it though. No, we can't get up there. But we do have 2 keys we can try everywhere. Can we try the balcony key? We did use the balcony key, but the description says it was used through the whole 20th century. Can we inspect this copper key? This key was created from a mold found in the smithy of Chateau Gaillard. And it's quite a distinctive pattern there. And the background of this thing sort of looks like the intro to a Looney Tunes cartoon. I imagine Arthur would know that. Okay, so we're not getting up here. Are we ever getting up there? This game does a lot of throwing locked doors at us just to make the place seem bigger, I think. I noticed that Toxic Meow is not an emote. I wonder if that means it's a thing that Melly sometimes says, or a noise that Melly sometimes makes. Okay, we can go down further, or we can head out this way. There's the fadey stuff again. And there's the music. I think I did try to do that earlier during my scouting ahead, so I will go down first. We can go down on yet another floor. That music sounds different. Sounds a little more intense. I'm gonna say that's a place we can go then. Oh, and now we're at the bottom, is that it? Oof. All right. let's try this place. Arthur, stay with me. Oh, that's not good. Oh. Oh boy.
Cage, that's the one! That's the one who messed with my sculpture!
That's the one who messed with your sculpture? Well, hey. I guess you would have seen the character as just a jumpsuit without a face, wouldn't you? I thought I saw something that looked like either a 3 or an 8 on that thing, though. Well, it is evidence we can review. Data Dude says, how many CDs does this game have? I think I'm playing a digital version, of course, so I don't have the physical CDs, but I think it had at least 3, based on what I've read about it. All right, can we head into this room? Hang on, I want to check this thing out. Now we'll wait for Lexi. Let's see what else is in here.
Looks like the supplies are pretty depleted.
Is this a supply area then?
Wowie, look at those kegs. Probably not much left in them this far in the siege. What I'm trying to figure out is where do you put the tap?
Arthur, stop being such a dude. We can't take it. So, where did Napoleon keep his armies? Zing! Well done, Melly. You provided wholesome topical humor and made an unforgettable contribution to this broadcast. And for that, we go. Is all well, Lexi? What do you have news for us? There's a very close view of these barrels. Feel free to elaborate, Lexi, if you wish, if it is relevant and sufficiently urgent. Interesting not to be able to look up and down in a place. We haven't had much of that this game. I'm only being this thorough because I've learned to be. Apparently we're not going up this ladder. It just doesn't like us. Lots of upset cat noises. I got on my robe and got outside and called the cats. Alabaster and Patty showed up, but not Biscuit or Tux. I'm hoping Red, a neighbor cat, just came over to pick fights and it wasn't a coyote. Yes, we are of a shared hope there too, Lexi. I hope so. I don't suppose you have any way to follow up on that, short of going out and searching or whatever, which I wouldn't blame you for. Ooh, hello. A chest. Hey, this is right where the imposter was standing. Do you want to hear what happened while you were gone, Lexi, or do you want to take a minute and see if you can do anything else with the cats? I don't think our balcony key is going to do this one, but I think the copper key might have a chance. So far nothing major has happened except for one thing. We exited the King's Chamber. That led us to another spiraling staircase, and from there were 4 levels that we could access. One was up at the top. There appeared to be a trap door that took us out of the tower, but it was locked. Second from the top was another room we didn't enter. Third from the top was the room in which we currently are, and I think that was actually the bottom. Maybe it was only 3 levels, because that was actually the floor level. And the moment we opened the door to this level, we saw another temporal jumpsuit, presumably the same character that we had missed. You can only wait for the others to show up at this point. Okay. A jumpsuit that was presumably the same agent that we'd missed at the Da Vinci tower. Unless they were 2 different agents that were working together on this. And this time we actually did get to see the jumpsuit. I haven't examined the recorded evidence, but it looked to me like the suit had a 3 or an 8 on the front, but its head was only turned so that you could see the right-hand side of it. And Arthur immediately recognized the jumpsuit as the one that stole the sculpture. So, there you go. And now we've been left to search the room. It looked like the character in the jumpsuit was right in front of this box. Maybe they couldn't get in. Looks like we can use the key we made though, so let's try that. Anything in here? Looks like we can walk forward into the box. Empty. So maybe they got what they came for. Don't suppose we can put anything in this box. Hang on. Do you have any comments, Arthur? I guess not. Did we catch our agent friend in the act then? Okay, so now we're at the bottom. Let's go up one level. And we have found another chamber. This is the place that I scouted a little during my scouting ahead, but I did not examine it thoroughly. I did find that through this door is another knight with his back turned, but this one is more alert and he just killed me right away. So I don't think we'll be trying this door.
This must be the study. When the king stayed here, it would be his throne room. In his absence, it would be used for receiving visitors, and right now, I would guess, planning the defense of the castle.
That makes sense. We can walk around this way. We can go over to see those books. Let's go over here first. Scroll, candelabra, some stuff. Oh, we can walk 2 ways. What have we here? Burned letter. Part of this letter remains unburned. To read it, click on its icon in the inventory controls area. We'll read it in just a moment. Ah, hello. Here are our plans. So... forces? Does this represent the enemy? And this the chateau? Outer banks? Something. This looks the most like a stronghold out of anything. Is this... Yes, I think this tower... Doesn't this seem right to you? This tower seems to be where we arrived. We went down. We found the grappling hook over here. We went around here. This wall was blown out. We could have looked over here. That's where he made the Monty Python reference. We did the smelting here. This is the moat. We were able to look from here over to the main castle. This is where the attack happened. Evidence found here. We went over the moat. We climbed up. And now we're in the tower, and now we're directly beneath that. So you are here. Once again, if this is an accurate representation of the chateau, I'm very impressed. Now we'll walk around it. That's the door we're not going in.
This should be the main door to the keep. They would usually put the entrance on the upper level because the narrow stairway to the door would make attackers more vulnerable and the keep easier to defend.
Okay. And a window we can look through. Not the most beautiful view, but it's a view, and there's fresh air. I wonder what that is. Can we look at that? No, not really. All right, let's check out the reading material. And I believe I found this to be actual reading material. Yes, we can read it, and we can go back. Looks like we're not on the first page. This seems to be, again, early-ish English. I don't know whether our translation chip will do anything for us. Ah, it does. All right, let's scroll back to the top. Private journal. Privat breviary. So maybe our translation chip would have helped translate what the soldiers were saying from early-ish English to less early-ish English. Of Roger de Laxey, 1203-2. Oh, interesting. Why does it scroll to the right? Anyway, 22 May, 1203. The war is... Does that third word translate to is not? The war is not going well. Philip's troops have taken Gournay and Conches and have set up camp on the Bernière Peninsula. With such victories under his belt, was that an expression of the time? It shall not be long before he gathers the confidence to attack Chateau Gaillard, which actually has an accent at this time. To be honest, King John is less of a strategist than ever Richard was. And I fear that he shall not be able to halt Philip's advancement. It saddens me to see territory won by the lion heart in fierce, bloody battle lost so quickly at the hands of a weaker man. Did they write from right to left, page-wise? Is that how this works? 11 August, 1203. I was awakened this balmy August morning by the sound of clashing armor and men screaming. I guess it's nice that armor translates to armor spelled according to the British spelling. The inevitable has come to pass. Philip Augustus' troops have attacked the garrisons along with the Seine. He has already gained much ground. So sudden and fierce was the assault. As our defenses were weakened in the onslaught, it is likely that the island fort shall fall before relief arrives. If so, Philip will lay in for the siege. Fortunately, our supplies are ample, and we can hold out for many months without relief if necessary. I sent a letter to King John to inform him of the situation. Lexi, I dunno, but this English is far too modern. I'm sorry it doesn't suit your tastes. 27 October, 1203. A heroic show of force was mounted by the horsemen and 4,000 foot soldiers under the Earl of Pembroke converged on the entrenched Normans who defended their positions tenaciously. At one point, the siegers appeared ready to flee under the drive of the assaulting forces, but alas, it was not enough. Perhaps Philip's men, and Philip's is never translated with an apostrophe so far. Philip's men held their ground, and Pembroke's men were forced to retreat. If 7,000 soldiers can't force the Normans from the trenches, the best we can hope to do is hold them at bay. It's not about taste, it's just too modern for the time period. Oh, I see. Yes, that was my instinct as well. I wonder how good an attempt it is. And it's certainly not French. I mean, there's some Frenchness to some of these months and words. 12 January 1204. One of my advisors just told me that he has discovered the perpetrator behind several robberies at the castle. Oh, this is interesting. I wonder if he could be referring to our time-traveling friend. As Arthur said, we could be mistaken for a knight in this suit. He said that his investigation required him to speak with a blacksmith who was not himself available. But the smith's apprentice was available. So no apostrophes at all, I guess. The apprentice let on that when the smith is hired to make a lock and key, he often keeps the mold used to cast the key. Right. And then he crossed something out. It was then that my advisor realized he had stumbled upon the perpetrator. He immediately searched the premises, whereupon he discovered the ill-gotten goods and several key molds. I am distressed that in this time when our very survival depends upon the cooperative efforts of every member of the group, this greedy opportunist is thinking only of himself. It pains me not to be able to make an example of him, but it would only worsen the already waning morale and leave us in the middle of a siege without a blacksmith. Instead, I have chosen to give the smith a stern warning for now. His real punishment shall have to wait. That's interesting. So that is, if we hadn't found the mold of the key, maybe a hint that would have tipped us off. 15 February, 1204. The castle food supplies are getting desperately low. All our hopes lie in a relief effort devised by King John. While troops led by William Marshall occupy the besiegers from the landward side, supplies are to be snuck up to the castle from the Seine. If the plan doesn't work, our supplies shall be gone within 2 weeks and the castle shall fall soon after. The outer bailey already has been severely weakened. And this line here translates to a solemn silence. 6 March, 1204. It has been Cheers. It has become increasingly difficult to find the time to write in my journal. Well, you've only been writing once a month. In fact, I am only writing now because this may be the last chance I get to do so. Despite a valiant effort, King John's relief effort failed. And right on the heels of this tragedy comes another. The outer bailey has fallen. There seems to be little we can do to stop Philip's forces. The few men that are still alive are already starving. And yet we will now have to cut back rationing to 1 cup of grain per man on every 3rd day. That's not much. If we don't get relief soon, the castle is doomed. I have taken the precaution of sequestering everything of value in the hidden storage room as King John requested in his last letter to me, and destroying the key. Aha. This is 1204 currently. The letter itself also had to be destroyed. Maybe that's the letter that we have, as it contained information on the whereabouts of the hidden storage room. Is that downstairs? Because we did use a key that we had to mold to get into the box, and the contents of the box seem to have been stolen by our fellow agent, or somebody who appears to be such. But that storage room downstairs did not seem especially hidden. Let me read this one more time. Seems to be a few men already starving, and everything of value in the hidden storage room as King John requested last letter destroying the key. Okay, so maybe if we read King John's letter, if the storage room we have seen is not the hidden one, maybe it will give us a hint as to what is. And that is the last page, right? There's our icon. Put this back. But I think there's another book here. Oh, this is an earlier diary. Gosh, okay. Private Journal of Roger de Laxey, 1196 to 1202. I guess we'd better read this one as well. 17 May, 1196. I arrived today at the glorious Chateau Gaillard, the care of which has been entrusted me by my Lord Richard while he is away on the Crusades. The Crusades. Nor shall I consider this no small honor, as my lord regards this saucy castle as his daughter and only child. Although, admittedly, I don't know whether to call myself constable or nanny. I like the character that represents the though. The in though. This magnificent castle sits high atop a ridge of the Les Andelys Mountains, looking down defensively over Normandy's Seine River Valley. Here it stands before God and all, a constant, taunting reminder to Philip. Augustus, of his losses to our most valiant... Philip Augustus, got it. Of his losses to our most valiant Coeur de Lion. And though the castle's hastily built walls are made of butter, as Arthur pointed out, I do not believe that Philip will strike at the taunt. He knows better than to try to take King Richard's most cherished possession. Nevertheless, I shall carry out my duty with all due ceremony. And we don't hear from him again until 7 April 1199. I learned today of the passing of a great warrior. The lion heart beats no more. Long live the king, he shall be greatly missed. However, being so sudden and unforeseen, excuse me, King Richard's death has left England without a king and Chateau Gaillard in a precarious position. Should Philip Augustus learn of King Richard's demise, I don't doubt he shall, and I don't doubt he shall, excuse me, it's comical at this point. He won't waste time in attempting to retake those lands lost to my lord, beginning with the saucy castle. To tell the truth, he has been waiting some time for this opportunity until a new king is chosen, whether it be Richard's brother John or his young nephew Arthur. Oh, nice coincidence. I can only act according to my best judgment. Now, as always, preparedness is a soldier's best defense. Thus, I have fortified the Seine and built a palisade around the island fort. I have even had a lock made for the entrance to the hidden storage chamber, the key for which I hid in a secret compartment of the armoire in the king's bedchamber. Oh, so that's what that was. Now, we can't be sure that the mold in the king's chamber matches the mold that the locksmith had, which would mean that if there is a secret hidden chamber, we can't be certain that our key would unlock it. We still aren't sure exactly what is the deal with that, but I think the letter may provide the illumination we need. A year later, 1 June 1200. Sadly, our situation at Chateau Gaillard has not improved since King John assumed the throne. The terms of the Treaty of Le Goulet are an insult to the British people and to the memory of King Richard the Lionheart. In addition to 20,000 marks relief, our noble king also has returned the Vexin to Philip Augustus. It makes no sense. If relief was paid Philip because the Normans held the advantage is only that much greater now. How could he who once fought at his brother's side give back so easily the spoils of their efforts, spoils for which English blood was spilled? It is not my position to question the king's actions, but anger consumes me. John has indeed earned the nickname Soft Sword. Soft Sword. And yet, miraculously, Chateau Gaillard remains under Angevin rule. Perhaps John could not bear the thought of giving away King Richard's only progeny. However, with Richard gone and 20,000 marks of English currency to finance his troops, Philip shall surely try to change that. God knows he has never been one to honor a treaty. Wow, that's the word knows. Check it out. For a sword. April 1202. Getting toward the end of the diary now. It took longer than I thought, but Philip's obsession has finally become more than he can bear. The traitor's feigned support of the Lucinians has given him the excuse he was looking for to declare war upon the royal house of England. And so he has begun his quest to restore the Norman Empire and his name. Oh, and that is history. And then this book, which we have read, documents his gradual success in taking over, or at least invading the chateau. Okay. Eyes are getting a little tired, but I am excited to read this letter. Let's see what we can get from it. The same hand. Okay. Is it just gonna say the hidden room is downstairs? Is that what it is? This would be the final order from King John if we understand what's going on here. And this burn mark looks a bit pixelated. 27 February 1204. I am grieved to have learned that my relief plan did not succeed. Philip's troops have proven to be more formidable than I had anticipated. Nevertheless, it is imperative that you do everything in your power to hold Chateau Gaillard, as I am already in the process of organizing another assault to dislodge the invaders. Due to the improvidence of my late brother Richard, the translation chip is doing all right so far with the burning marks. It could take some time to locate the necessary resources, but rest assured, Constable, I guess that was the chosen nickname, relief shall come soon. In the event that the castle should fall before relief arrives, I ask that you put everything of value in the hidden storage chamber, which lies ... secret panel, doors of the besieged castle. Burn this letter. Hidden storage room which lies ... secret panel, doors of the besieged castle. Lies, secret panel, doors of the besieged... Okay. So our clues are secret panel, doors of the besieged castle. Hello, Crazy Descent. Welcome and thank you for dropping in. Feel free to say hi to the folks here. Oh, fellow ex-player of Buried in Time. We just spent the evening getting past a nasty bug which was barring us from progress. I think that we're now by it, hopefully. And we might just be wrapping up for tonight, and we're just currently trying to work out what... Oh, and we could translate the last two lines too. What this note means. Hidden storage chamber. I'm sure you do, yes? Oh, what is this? This makes this look like not a door. But I think it is a door. Okay, let's have another save. We'll re-save over B8 there. Did I succeed? Yes. Oh, I see. We went into a depression in the floor. Oh, is this a locked door? No, this isn't. This is the door we came through. So, I don't know. Either there's someplace else we haven't found. Was the bug related to an emulation? The source I found that told me that the bug was a bug, confirmed that for us, was an old source from back in the day of the game's original release. So I think it wasn't related to an emulation. So this just seems to be a regular storage chamber, even though it contains a chest that can be opened by the described key. far as we can tell, there's no way to intercept this, unless we just book it and go really fast out of this chamber or something and beat the other agent. This puzzle always confused me. You seem to think there's more to it. Let's get Arthur back up here. And he has no other comments about this place, it seems. This ladder does nothing. Oh yes, we haven't looked at the evidence recorded from our encounter with the suspect in question. What are we talking about here? Evidence chip, there we go, review. Ah, finally, a next page icon. Do you accept hints? Crazy, thank you for offering. If we get to the point where we're really chewing our nails and pulling our hair, I may ask for a hint at that point. But until such a time, please maintain your smug smirk and your knowledge of our amusement and suffering. Okay, what have we got here? We found this number. We still haven't looked up... I have not looked up the agent who bears that number, so we still got to do that. What have we here? We can't really see... Let's see. Presence of second time traveler inconsistent with TSA. Chronologue scanner reports. Yeah, so we just caught them on the way in. We can't see their helmet. Lexi says, sorry, I'm so quiet, I'm sleepy and enjoying. I approve, Lexi. And this is a later stream. Happy 0 hour. Not sure if it's 0 hour for everyone here, but it is indeed the dawn of a new day on the Pacific Edge. We'll examine the King's Chambers one more time. Nothing there. So, I don't know. It's not impossible there's another way into... the chambers downstairs. We still can't get into this chest. I still kind of like that there's no music here. So is this just to show us that the mold is the same as the key that we have? Is the mold the same as the key that we have? Let's have a look. What do you think? I think it goes down, right, down, left, down, right. Down, right, down, left. So this seems like it might even be a different mold, don't you think? Oh. That's kind of a tough one. We can't use the key on it. But you see what I'm seeing, right? Unless the light's hitting it weird and it does match. But I don't think they match. Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but I say that's progress. Let's save one last time.